Hello, welcome back. This week we're doing a video blog or a vlog, and I'm here to talk about overtraining. Why? One, because it's been circulating in the social media accounts that I do follow, and it's a topic that is very, very close to my heart because I myself have to be very, very mindful that I'm not overtraining. So, I want to start off by saying it is like a societal condition for sure, a societal expectation that more is more, and that if you do more, you'll find more success, you'll find more happiness, you'll find more goodness. And that is not always true. In some cases, yeah, but it's actually in most cases not true. And this absolutely applies to the mentality that our society and our culture have around fitness and wellness. That again, the more you work out, the better your results will be. The more you work out, the better you're going to feel about yourself. The more supplements you take, the healthier you're going to be. The more therapies you take part in, the healthier you're going to be. The longer you meditate, the healthier you're going to be, the happier you're going to be. It's all bogus. There is not a perfect amount of time for everyone. Everyone is different. And this is where we become empowered individuals and we figure out what that right amount of all of these things is for us as individuals. That being said, we do need to be mindful of the comparison and the judgment that happens in our mind as we compare ourselves to those that surround us. Perfect example is if you compare yourself to me. Knowing that I might be comparing myself to somebody else who is a fitness god in my mind, right? Somebody who's got this whole fitness business thing down and all of these things. So if you're comparing yourself to me and you're like, well, she works out all the time. Well, one, false. That's not true. I don't work out all the time. Two, you might compare yourself to me in workouts and see the weights that I'm lifting and think, oh, I'm not good enough because I'm not lifting what she's lifting. False. Majorly false. It is just a blessing and a gift to yourself that you're showing up and that you're learning more about your body and your breath and how you feel when you move. Like, we all, including myself, need to end the comparison game. It doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. It only matters what you're doing and how you feel. And if it makes you feel good, do it. If it doesn't make you feel good, don't do it. That being said, we do get a major endorphin rush when we work out. So it's easy, I think, sometimes. It can be easy to go into overtraining because working out can make us feel really, really good. It can also be really easy to not see or overstep signs of overtraining. And that's what I'm here for today. I want to talk about some signs of overtraining. These are not all the signs. There are probably a plethora of other signs to be watchful for, but these are signs that absolutely have come up for me, and in talking with clients and friends, these are common signs for sure. Yeah, so let's go into those, what these signs are. As we're going through these, see if any of them come up for you. If anything here resonates for you, no judgment, always no judgment, not from me, not from yourself. Just allow it to be a little highlighter of like, that does happen to me. Brain awareness, right? Almost all of this is all about bringing awareness. Even our workouts are about bringing awareness to our body. How does my body feel today? I'm getting off track. I digress. Let's get into some signs of overtraining. So a sign of overtraining is constant inflammation in the body. When we work out, we're stressing the body. The body needs to be stressed in order to make adaptations. Those adaptations are what cause changes in your body, whether that's strength gains, body composition changes, mood changes, all of these things. We do need stress. Stress does get a bad rap, but in this case, exercise is a stress. It is a stressor. It's a stressor on the body, on the muscles, on the bones. that causes physiological changes, and it is those changes that lead to progress or shifts, okay? I say progress, I digress. Once again, lots of digression. So we do need inflammation, because when we're working out, damage is caused. That's what we're doing. We are causing damage to the muscle cells, a bit to the bones as well, and things need to rebuild. That rebuilding process comes with inflammation. The tissues become inflamed because they're being engulfed with nutrients, right? And little processing systems that can go through and rebuild. So inflammation is natural, and inflammation should be happening. But the problem is that if that inflammation sticks around, right, it's just never going away. How do you know if this is happening to you? Well, one, you could be having it in your joints. That could be from overtraining, but it could also be from different things. It could be any autoimmune disease, any type of arthritis. So there could be a separate thing going on, but if it is in relation to overtraining, sometimes what can happen is the tissues swell, and then that swelling never goes away, right? So for example, a client came in, we did a leg workout on a Monday, and she came in for our following session on Thursday, and hi, if you're watching, and she was like, yeah, Monday and Tuesday, my legs felt like swollen. That swollen sensation is inflammation. That is inflammation. If that swollen sensation didn't go away by, say, our session on Thursday, or perhaps longer, I would say that that is a sign of overtraining, right? The tissues, they're not able to repair because you're training on top of training, on top of training, on top of training. And so the tissues never have a chance to repair, so the inflammation just stays, okay? So chronic or constant inflammation, kind of this puffy sensation, because that's what it feels like. It feels puffy, it feels thick, it feels full. When you do a bicep curl, when you do a lot of bicep curls, you get what we call a pump, right? If you have access to, if you're doing a bunch of squats, you can feel a pump. If you do a bunch of push-ups, you can feel what we call a pump. Those pumps are blood going right in there. Feels weird. It does. It feels weird. It feels like you are swollen, and it's because you are, right? It's okay to experience that short term, but again, we don't want to experience that long term. If it's not going away, just take it as a sign to assess. Why is this not going away? I'm noticing that I feel swollen all the time. And it can be systemic. It can be over the whole entire body. It could be fingers. It can be after a leg day and the whole body swells up. That would be a sign. Overtraining. Another side. Mood swings. Are you bitchy as fuck? Are you losing your temper for no apparent reason? Are you emotional? Like, are you just breaking down, crying over the smallest things? Spilt milk, really. Asking yourself, are there other things going on in life? Am I having a lot of difficulty in my relationship? Is work really overwhelming? Am I not getting enough sleep? Kids? Maybe that's why you're having mood swings. That could be totally part of it. But if other areas of your life are seemingly going pretty well and you're getting moody, there's a sign. It could be overtraining. So again, just use it as a little tool to stop and assess, okay? This kind of correlates with mood swings, but have you heard of hangriness? Hangriness being like just all of a sudden absolutely ravenous, very, very moody when this happens. My life depends on getting food right now, in this moment. Nothing else matters. I need food right now. That would be a drop in blood sugar. That is going to be correlated to the next topic here, which is nutrition. So are you out of touch with your satiety and fullness and hunger signals, all of those cues? Your satiety cues. How are you communicating with your body? Are you clearly communicating with your body, or are you constantly hungry? I'm not saying that that's not true, but with this principle of overtraining, we tend to kind of go into this cycle of constantly needing food, which also makes sense because you are you're overtraining. The body needs fuel to repair. But again, more isn't more. Here you are overtraining, you're eating more, you're probably not getting the results that you want. You probably also feel like you're at a bit of a standstill. So this is an idea of like, don't shift the eating necessarily, but reflect on the training. Maybe I'm overtraining. Maybe I need to pull back on my training, make my sessions smaller, reduce the intensity of my sessions, or work out fewer days a week. And we'll get into that. Another sign of overtraining is going to be not seeing progress. Reminder that progress does not always have to do with your weight. In fact, I choose to really never see it that way. Progress would be, in my opinion, in my mind, the way I see it, am I getting stronger? Are lifts getting better? Are movements getting better? Am I feeling really fucking awesome in my body? These are signs of improvement. If all of a sudden, say you're in a training program or you've been working out for 12 weeks, things have been going really well, you have been seeing progress, and now you're on week 14, 15, 16, and nothing's happening, and you are not missing a single workout, you are on your game, this might be a sign of overtraining. This might be a sign that your body is just not simply having enough time to rebuild and repair. So there are more signs of overtraining. These are the ones that I find to be the most common. These are the ones that I hear the most frequently. So what do you do if you're overtraining? Quite simply, pull back. Don't stop. There is no need in most cases to stop training, but assess. If you are training 7 days a week, that's a bit much. How are you resting, right? If you're training 7 days a week, how are you resting? Now again, there could be Olympic athletes that need to train 7 days a week, but I hate to break this to you. I had to break this to myself. We are not Olympic athletes. We are not CrossFit Games athletes. As far as I know, anyone who I'm working with is not on performance enhancing drugs. We are normal human beings, and 7 days a week of working out is not realistic. 6 days is also perhaps not realistic. 5, I would say, is a maximum. Working out 5 days a week. This is just my own personal perspective. Please do not hold me to this, but in my experience, 5 days a week is plenty. It is also, in fact, probably too much for some of us, okay? And it all depends on what intensity your workouts are at, okay? So pulling back, you could pull back in the number of workouts that you're doing. You can also pull back in your intensity. So if you're doing 5 HIIT classes a week or 4 HIIT classes a week and you feel like you are overtraining, reduce your number of HIIT classes. HIIT classes, if done properly, they're supposed to be the most intense workout in a relatively short amount of time, right? My HIIT class on Friday, which is an hour long, that's pretty darn intense. I don't think it's realistic to think that you are going to go hard through every single set in that class, which is why we break into skill sets, skill work in that class. So we have some slower movements and then we go into faster or kind of like, more intense efforts, right? But scaling back on your HIIT workouts can be really, really, really beneficial, or maybe scaling back on the time of your HIIT workouts. So instead of an hour, again, not totally realistic to think that you can go balls to the wall for an hour, but say somehow you're doing that right now, seeing if you can scale back and still feel pretty good about your output at, say, 30 minutes, right? So reducing the time there. Making sure that you are doing essentially split days. So if we do legs on Monday, the HIIT on Tuesday is very, very light in the legs. We do plyometrics, so we are jumping, but we're not doing nearly as much of a leg focus in that class. We try to do the plyometric work with our legs, obviously, and then we do try to focus from the hips up for the rest of the class. We then go into an upper body day. We then go into a glute day, and then we go into a full body HIIT day. Again, those full body HIIT days aren't zeroing in on one area of the body. It's more dispersed, so there is a chance for what was worked the previous day to have a bit of a break. So the idea of a split day is basically if you worked legs one day, don't work legs the next day. If you worked arms one day, don't work arms the next day. This allows that body part to rest as you go to a different body part. Okay. What else? Continue to build awareness, right? Continue to build awareness. And that's it. That's all I have for you today in this blog post. If you are somebody who thinks that they might be overtraining and you want to start a conversation about it, happy to do so. Again, this is something that I have a lot of experience with, firsthand experience. I definitely overtrained for a lot of my life, and I still have to be really, really mindful that I'm not overtraining. So today it's almost 2. I'm still in my pajamas, and I haven't moved. And this is a day of rest, and it's beautiful. Years ago, I would have hated this. And to be honest, there is still an internal struggle that happens. You know, I have a bit of mom guilt right now that I haven't gotten out and hiked Penn, and we've walked. We're good. We don't, so the head games don't stop if you face them, but you do get better at not believing them, not listening to them, and just kind of becoming the witness of them. So that's it. I hope some of this helped. Tried to keep it short, but I'm realizing that we're coming up on 17 minutes right here. Thank you if you've watched up until this point. Listen to your body. Know that you are absolutely incredible. Your worth is not determined by how many times you work out. It's not. It's really not. I promise you that. And my ultimate goal for you is to feel your best in your body as you are right now. I love you, and I will see you around.